Red markets,
Yes.
zombies, economic
Red
horror,
markets.
Canadian
We-
missile
it's a giant
silos
book.
in Kansas.
We have put
It's a
this on
giant
for
book.
long
Nobody
enough.
needs to be spraining my shoulders to like hold it
Someone
up on
else
screen again.
should be though. Someone else found a copy of it.
The big
Oh,
hefty book.
wild.
Boom.
Yeah, someone
doesn't
else
have it
got
with him.
lucky.
Oh, he
Yeah,
does.
there it is.
Look at it. Someone else has a copy of it.
Only
You
two people on the
too.
planet, Mike.
Yeah, you too can read the 200 something pages of in-world character dialogue history to like that book's huge.
Yep.
Anyway, yes, a game of economic horror where the zombie apocalypse came and y'all got abandoned by the government out here west of the Mississippi, but you still need to like, pay rent and feed your kids and all that kind of good stuff. And you're kind of hoping that you can come up with enough money to get somebody to sneak you over the wall into the part of the country that's not abandoned.
That would be super great.
We're
Aren't we
working on
close to that? Isn't that like a thing that's happening?
I think it's close.
It's actually you actually have the money for that, but we need to do like some other things. Like I have this pile of money here. Now I need somebody to like fake like a personal history for me. Like I've got an ID
Mhm.
card, but like
Mm.
I need like digital paper trail to prove I exist. So I got to
Right.
find somebody to do that. So
Yeah. And actually find the door that lets you in to the other side of the wall. We need
Oh,
that
yeah, you
too.
gotta get up
We
to
don't-
that
we have
part
no idea
too.
where that is.
yeah,
We got time. We still have stuff going.
there's a lot of lines on the bridges that cross between St. Louis and the other side of the line. That's very well documented. Yeah, but we'll get there.
Meanwhile,
For right now, yeah. In the moment, we took a job for Jed Jones. We had to go back to St. Louis. We had to clean out silos in a grain silo there that he can move his grain into. Had to keep it quiet. Afterwards, you got word that some friends, might be overstating it, of yours had been picked up by your friends from the Great White North, Longbaugh's friends from the Great White North,
Yeah.
and was in their possession, and that if you wanted them to be safe and whole, that he was welcome to come pick them up and take them home. But, if they had to keep them, who knows what would happen, but if you want to take them, they'll let you go. So,
Very
yeah,
good of them.
last time we went, and we went out to, what was it, Keep It Shrimple, pick up our ride. Yes, so I'm going to throw up our cards for the evening for our episode tonight. Vault Maple Leaf.
Yes.
So everybody can kind of
Oh, nice.
get a look at those. Okay.
Nice.
So I get to start tonight by saying, hey, we made it farther last time than I actually thought we were going to. So I actually missed out on putting something in, and now I need to kind of have that retcon conversation.
Hey, that's fine with us.
Yeah, that's great. Because when you got picked up by Bank, dude in the Suburban showed up to pick you up. I think there is one more bit that should have happened before he popped you into the truck. And I think that should have been that when he got there, he would have opened up the back of the Suburban, taken out like a zipper, like metallic mesh bag that has like his Ubik tablet in it. To be like, yeah, picking him up now. I'll be on our way back to you. And then put it back into this zipper mesh bag and zipped it shut. And then would have had to pull back a blanket in the back of the Suburban. And in the back of the car here, you can see that he has a foot locker, like a big foot locker with like the latch and the lock on it. And he has what looks like a small to medium old microwave that has had the two pieces of metal epoxied onto it, so that it has like a hanging unclosed padlock. He will be like, glad to take you. Curious. They're going to be a little uptight about having strangers visiting us who are armed. If you're willing to place your weapons into the footlocker here, he's like, the key is on like a chain. He's like, I will give you this key once they're in there. Y'all will hang on to it. I will do the same. If you got any electronics, like Longabaugh your specs into the microwave. And then I'll lock that one up, and I will give you guys the key to that one too.
Okay. Well, they're your specs, so sure. And he'll take off the glasses and put them in the microwave.
Cool. I think he'll like press the button that opens the door, and there's like a hand towel inside it to like wrap them up in, just so they don't like totally
nice.
Slam around inside.
That's awesome. I'm not gonna get like junked up glasses.
Here's your broken glasses back. Bye.
Yeah.
But yeah, the like condition of him picking you up and taking you anywhere is, we need your weapons, we need your electronics.
Yeah, Longabaugh would hand over his gun.
I think
Just
if anything,
does he have more than one?
No. I have had just the one rifle this whole time.
You don't have a hold-up pistol?
No.
I think if anything,
Knives, axes, whips.
Nope, just my feet. I got one thing. Yeah, I got some hallucinogens. I'm gonna hold on to those, Mike.
Yeah, not a weapon. He's not concerned.
I think just out of habit, Deacon would probably like not even think about the Bible with the gun in it per se, and just hand over the rifle, because he's just used to everybody not thinking about it and just kind of like. But if the guy's like, "Hey, I need to confiscate the good book, buddy," I think he'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're right." But I just think it's not like, that's just kind of a normal thing for him to carry that around, and nobody ever really questions it. So
I don't think he would say anything about like, give me that Bible, because Bible. But like, once people put things in, he will like take that step back and be like, I understand if there's something you want to keep on you, but I really need any weapons in the locker. So if there's anything else you got, I'm not going to judge you for hanging on to it, but like, this is your last chance.
This is the last no judgment chance.
This is the gun amnesty box stop, and then after that.
No. I still don't have any more charges of grenades.
No,
I was like,
that's a long time ago.
It's still on the sheet, just at 0 out of 5. I was like, oh. I got none
We'll go find another nest of raccoons for you.
No, do not want.
Yeah, I guess you can probably toss it. Like if he just reminds him enough, but I really think like for Deacon, it's just kind of like a thing he always carries, and so he'll just be like, "Oh," and just hand him a Bible.
And I think it is a similar situation to like the microwave, where there's like a pink polyester like My Happy Pony family blanket that's in there to like, so stuff's not going to get like trashed and damaged by like having it in there.
Yeah. Longabaugh does. Oh, 1 second. And he like goes in his backpack and rummages out and pulls out the big OP4 super accurate GPS system that we've been lugging around this whole time. And it's like powers that down, puts it gently in the microwave, wrapping it in a slightly larger towel, I assume. It's like, oh yeah,
it's enough big enough towel that I can like nudge stuff into it around. Yeah,
sure. But it's like, oh yeah, this thing. It's like, I'm sure they super don't want us having that.
Yeah.
Down to the foot accurate map of exactly where we've been this whole time. I completely forgot I had that on my character sheet. I would have been like, oh yeah, sure. Blindfold me. I don't care. I'll know exactly where I am to the meter, fuckwits. But no, Longabaugh would not do that to them. He would put the thing into the thing.
If both the guys, even especially if Deacon gives up his Bible, then Mirtha will also give up her weapons and her quiver, and her rifle. So
I think Deacon will probably hand him the Bible, like the entire thing closed, and just be like, "Gotta memorize," and just see how he reacts. Just like, is he gonna open it and check?
Like at first, he's probably like picks it up and he's like, "That's weird," and then like there's that shifting weight inside it. It's like holds it up and like kind of like gives it a little head tilt. Like
he's like, "That's a good call, actually. I almost forgot I had that in there. I take that thing everywhere, man."
It was a total forgot moment for Longabaugh too. Like, oh yeah, this thing. I'm glad you asked, because I totally forgot.
Is Deacon keeping his rosary spikes on?
I mean, when he's not using them, it's literally just like a metal rosary that he has with him. So I
Okay.
mean, he's not gonna like necessarily
Keep
give
your
that up.
rosary. Yeah, keep your rosary.
And I mean, he's wearing gloves. I don't know if the padded gloves are like a problem for them. Like,
I mean, if
It's
those
just
are
some
if those are
bulky
a problem,
gloves.
then so are his beefcake arms. You know,
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
I mean,
we're-
if we're turning over guns, I got two that aren't gonna
Yeah,
fit in the
it's like-
box, you know what
it's
I'm
like-
saying? Like,
we need you to go on cut weight. No more
Mhm.
water. Just
no
What
more
you're saying is that
protein.
we don't have any weapons with us, Mike. That was
Yes,
the whole.
you don't have any
retcon.
weapons. You don't have UBIC connections. You don't have electronics. Yeah, they
I think-
when they get there, they will take it into like there's one of the shipping containers like inside the fence, and they have like a couple foot lockers in one end and like a bunch of like what look like lockers that would have been taken out of like a high school or something, and they all have like key padlocks with no keys in them because whoever stuff it is has the key. They can have it back when they leave. And then there's like that's in one end of the shipping container, and in the other end, it's just old microwaves that have epoxied on padlock parts. Because if we want makeshift Faraday cages, nobody's got any other use for these things.
Mhm.
that's brilliant. That's
Are you
brilliant.
telling me that ramen didn't survive the zombie apocalypse and we don't need like
Well,
not
they
even
don't
that?
need that many of them. And
That's
they're Canadian. They're more concerned with the stopping the UBIC devices from pinging than they are with the ramen. But as I tried to mention last
priorities.
time, LoJack has been pretty psyched because occasionally they give them poutine. So that's
Mhm.
there you go.
The fries with the stuff on it.
Yeah,
which-
fries with gravy and cheese curds. Yeah,
Poutine, I do not get it.
you're wrong.
Have it
That's
with
like-
some red wine braised beef.
All right, maybe
That
that's the
might
deal.
change your life.
Maybe that's the deal because the poutine I have had was like, oh
Well, maybe
You get
that's
like,
the
you
problem.
get like
right?
Tim Hortons. You get the
No.
fast food poutine.
no, it wasn't. It was like a poutine restaurant. They like supposedly specialized in poutine.
But
I mean,
where?
it is just
Like-
fries with gravy and cheese curds. Like
Yeah.
that is what it is. If that's not appealing, it's not gonna be appealing.
It's not
I'm
going
willing to
be.
try it again. I'm willing to try it again. But right now, I don't connect with this aspect of my characters.
we add
passion
that to the list
for
of
poutine.
eventually at a convention we have to bring these foods for everybody who played in red markets because you have to have the St. Louis butter cake, you have to have the toasted raviolis, and you gotta have the poutine. Okay.
Yes.
Round out the experience of like this is what you've been eating out there when Mike throws random crap at you.
Mike,
A
I-
healthy dose of paprika.
Mike, you have a theme. That theme is
I do.
food.
Yeah.
I love
respect
that.
it.
I love that.
Yeah.
The
I
good
don't
news
know- I don't-
is, as opposed to here or in like Blades or like my D&D campaign once upon a time, there are far fewer like rat-oriented foods in this game. So
An eel, seaweed. fruit
Eels.
yeah,
based.
there's fewer eels, less seaweed.
But I mean, even Dexy was our chef. Like you cooked, and you had a menu, and the whole concept of Texican, or what? No, what was it?
Mexican.
Mexican.
Texican.
came out of
Texican.
chat that night. Yeah.
Texican was so good.
I will say regarding paprika, I did have to buy paprika the other day, but I'm gonna let everybody know it was single source Spanish paprika. I'm not buying them because that's pointless. McCormick paprika, pointless. You got to get something worth eating.
You can have that fight with Casey.
I stand by
We got to get Casey back on here.
Please,
It
Casey.
will never end.
it.
All right. So
yes,
we
so
did that
Bank,
thing.
Bank does all that. He gives the key to the weapon to Mirtha. He gives the keys for the microwave to Deacon. So, there you go. And all this, you're getting it back. You got it. For now, we're keeping an eye on stuff. All good. So cut to the present, where we have Longabaugh in this office space
Oh,
in a
it-
tower.
I was about to, am I in? Did I walk through the vault thing with the big huge vault door with Blue into this tower silo thingy?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I think the tower comes up from above where that is. Like you go in and like through the overseer's office, you get up to the tower. That's so. um, but yeah, Blue has like an office space here, and it does have exterior windows, so she does have light. Um, as you were coming through to reach this space, you can see that this is a converted military complex. This used to be a missile silo, and now that big section over there, whatever it used to be, now the ceiling is hung with like blue sheets of fabric to try to make it look sort of sky-like, and it has like couches and stuff over there, and it's like a place for people to like be. Like over here, there's like people who are like using a golf cart with a little trailer behind it. They're like moving stuff to like they got they're probably hauling a bunch of like crates full of like those potatoes that like were for sterile HQS
Oh yeah, from
way
a
way
ways
back
way
when.
back from the big
Yep.
truck. Yes. Oh man, the truck that I put a tracking device on. Is that what this is from? Those potatoes? Yes.
And that's the potatoes that Mirtha tried to like. I'm just gonna grab some so we can take them home. We can have some food. We'll
Yes.
plant them, except they don't grow.
Yes.
The controversy.
Yes,
Potatoes are supposed to grow everywhere.
Yeah.
I know.
Not when
Just
DHQS gets a hold of them. They ruin everything.
Agricorps, man, Agricorps. Um, so yeah, she will take you into this like office room that she has here. It has like plans up on the wall that show like where like this shipping container wall is and where they're like making space that they're trying to like 3D print these buildings and stuff like that.
Oh, cool. It's like their layout for the
Yeah,
company.
it's like this is their like community plan that's like up on the wall here. Um, she's like, you know, she trusts you enough to have you in here with like that kind of information up.
That's good.
But she will sit down at a desk, and there's another chair in here. Um, like, oh, help yourself. She'll like rummage around in a drawer of the desk and take out like one of those like small ball jars, like kind of like you could drink out of it if you wanted to, and kind of slide it across. And it's that nice amber maple syrup looking stuff. She's like, so based on how things have been going lately, it seems like you might be running low.
Yeah, this is a welcome sight. Thank you, Blue.
Good.
You're being really nice to me, which I think means good things.
Like I feel like things have become more antagonistic than intended, but yeah.
That's fair. I've been out for a while, and so it can it can be easy to go a little native.
Understand. So yeah, she will talk to you for a few minutes, and she will kind of come around to like, so the people you've been traveling with, they trustworthy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like trust them with your life, trustworthy?
I've been doing it.
Trust them with our lives, trustworthy?
Yep. Yeah, I think so. Look, the two that are left, they've pulled me out of so many scrapes, and we've all gotten to know each other really well, and I think that we all have things that we don't like about the world we live in, and I think that they understand the hardship that I went through and that we have gone through, the little bits that I have shared with them. And I think that they get it. I don't know. I mean, I'm certain that they still want over the wall, and they still want to live their lives, see the future that they have envisioned for themselves. And I want to make sure that they get that chance.
Okay, good. All right. So we're working on building something here and make sure that it's going to be safe, secure, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I think they're happy to not know where this place is.
So I guess that brings me around to the next question, the next obvious question. Do you trust those kids?
Trophy? they were wrong place, wrong time in so many ways. Every time we ran into them, they've been in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know. There's one kid, I forget David forgets the kid's name that we met first.
Oh, LoJack.
LoJack. You know, it's like LoJack, man. He just had the dumbest friends. And he needed to get rid of that crew.
Bank says he seems like a real survivor.
Yeah. What I don't know is I don't know who they've become. You know, I know who they were when I met them and when they got started as a group, but they've taken a couple of jobs and that changes you. You've probably spent the most time with them since I have. And, you know, in the last couple of days while we've been making our way here, what has their temperament been? Have they been hostile? Have they been suspicious and ornery, or have they been chill?
It's suspicious, but not really ornery.
Okay. That's a good sign. You know, I think that all of them kind of want the same thing that Deacon and Martha do, right? They all want to have a chance at not living out here. I think that, you know, I think with Trophy, I just don't know them as well to really make that call for you. But I think that they could be, how to say this. I think that they could be released in a place where it doesn't matter as much. I don't know if off the top of my head, none of them have really any hold on elevation, right?
No, they're all like,
Well, one of them has their partner is still there.
yeah. Bex's partner, Mary, is still in elevation.
Okay.
Because she was trying to find stuff to go out and try to find where they went to.
Gotcha. Okay. Then, yeah, I'll mention like most of them don't have any hold on elevation, you know. I think one of them has a partner in elevation. So I don't know. Maybe here's not a bad place for them if the risk is great. But if you guys were careful with them the way you were careful with us, you know, there's not much they could really do.
Okay. That seems to be a good enough answer for her for now. So I think this one, like, we kind of like fade to black on this scene.
Cool.
I think back in like the holding house, like the place where everybody else has been staying. You hear the door being unlocked, and it opens from the outside, and it's Bank, and he's got like his hands full. He's got like a bunch of bottles of water. Here, you know, I wasn't sure what you guys might need in here, so I brought some of these for now. I know they're gonna make food later, so you know, things will be okay. But, you know, just hang tight and, you know, try to stay cool. And he will go out and he will lock the door again behind him, and he'll kind of like put the keys on his belt, and then you'll hear somebody else like call him from like across this like courtyard type space, like, hey, we need you to help us with this thing, and and he goes with them with the keys. Everybody else in his house. So you can give me a self-control check.
Oh, fun. Yeah, that makes sense.
Both of us? Or
Yes.
Oof.
on what kind?
Stress.
I got a 10/4, which makes sense because I think Deacon's kind of one of those. I mean, you know, it's one of them Christian things, right? You just stick it out; it'll get better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's just like, it'd be fine. I got me a nice cold bottle of water.
Yeah, 13/7.
Okay. Cool. No stress. Everybody's good. I think Bug probably does go over to the doors like, well, he's still with the keys. And they're just like
I think
Bug gets
Martha
kind of
is
tense.
Martha is helping Bug.
Okay. So I think Bug gets tense, and I think Chess Piece Face is here. He is the father of the little lady
Why is he
girl.
here?
He was working as like going out and doing the dusting in the fields as
Oh,
one
he's
of
a
the
farmer.
workers. He was trying to make money doing farm work, and Big Duluth got like splattered by a boar across the front of a combine, and Chess Piece Face is still here. But he's borderline catatonic. Like he's real stressed out. Things are not going well.
I guess Martha would just kind of like look at Deacon and like she's gonna gesture that she'll continue to take care of Bug.
Deacon will
She
grab
has
an
no idea what
extra-
to do with the
Yeah, Deacon will grab an extra bottle of water and go over to him and say, "Hey there, buddy, you might want to take you a couple sips of this. All right, not too fast, but get you some, lubrication for your innards. Try to keep everything moving. Looks like you're seized up a little bit."
Like, well, yeah. Thanks. Takes a drink.
I'm pretty sure we know each other, right? You look a
Yeah,
familiar.
yeah. No, you've stopped by the visitor center while we were there seeing Anna. Yeah, I think you guys were some of the ones who pointed us towards elevation. Which, thank you for that. There were a lot of enclaves that weren't super hospitable to how Anna is in her state.
I hope you don't lay too much of your current predicament on myself, as I am also in the predicament. So,
no, I wouldn't. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean that at
hey,
all.
buddy, come on, let's take it down. We're good. Have a sip of water. Just
Okay.
keep sipping some water. We're all right, buddy. Look, I reckon eventually, I mean, all of us gonna get to go home, right? Because I don't reckon y'all know much about what's going on. We don't know much about what's going on. I don't see much point in keeping us here, to be honest. Doesn't look like they're really into the whole forced labor kind of situation. So I reckon we'll be going home here in a little bit, and me and my crew, we're going to be around on the trip home to make sure everybody arrives safe. All right, so we'll get you back to your wife and that little girl. All right,
Well,
just take it
well,
easy.
I mean, I don't know, like I never gave Big Duluth an actual name. Like she's just Big Duluth. It's like no, she's that field. The things that happen in that field. She's oh, and it kind of like breaks down, like kind of crying.
Oh, I see. I see. I had not put two and two together that was her name. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Maybe like, well, I can understand or at least I can appreciate the severity of the situation. But we're gonna get you back to your little girl, okay? And elevation.
I think he's starting to try to pull himself back together. Yeah. I'm gotta get back for Anna. Kind of takes another little sip of the water.
Okay, listen, you got. I'm gonna make sure y'all are all right, okay?
Thanks, Deacon.
Do you need anything else? I don't know what's in this house, but I can go take a look around.
It's like there's no. I think I'm gonna go lay on the cot in there.
You want an Oreo? Hey, listen, chocolate.
It's one of the few things I
sugar.
didn't make you put in the box, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, like, I still got an Oreo. That probably doesn't even count as a ration. One Oreo, so we can just hand that out.
You may just like hand it to him, and he'll just like take it and be like kind of confused, and like, oh, yeah, okay.
Don't got a sweet tooth, huh?
I think he's just more traumatized than he is paying attention to food.
I mean, Dee's just gonna look over, like, look at Mirtha and be like, Oreos fix pretty much anything in my experience. I was just, you just gotta give him a couple
Oreo
pats.
or you spray Windex on it, and those are the two things.
Yeah. just kind of tap the bottom of the bottle a little bit, be like, take a couple more sips there. I think you could use a little bit. And then just
Mhm.
kind of leave him be. Just kind of make sure he knows to drink some water and try to stay calm.
I think after a little bit, there's like some gravel crunching from outside, as like a golf cart pulls up in from like that barred door that's out front. And Bank is driving it, and he comes up and he unlocks the door. He's like, hey, preacher and ma'am,
Mhm.
you want to come with me?
She looks at Deacon. Just us?
Yeah.
Okay. I think she'd just look back to the rest of the trophy. Make sure Bug is calm, has calmed down some.
Bug is still shocky, like kind of
Yeah.
checked out, a little glassed over. Riley has been spending a lot of time trying to peek out a window towards that container that they use for storage, and muttering under his breath something about Brittany. It's his drone. They have it over there, and he's wants to make sure they didn't break it.
People and
'Cause
their
it was
drones.
very
So
expensive.
it's like you pat
And-
LoJack on the shoulder and just like, okay, make sure that everyone's good. Okay.
like
All
yeah.
right, folks, we're gonna be
LoJack
back
is
in a
like,
few.
he's not psyched that he's locked up, but like he seems to be doing well with the situation at hand. Like,
Mhm.
LoJack to me seems to be the kind of person that just kind of goes with the flow. You
Mhm.
get
LoJack
bit
is
by a
probably the
casualty,
most stable member of the team. Yeah, that's
you get bit by a casualty, you take a walk. You get locked up, you kick back, read a magazine. It's like
it's like it's
Repeating
not.
it.
Yeah, we're locked in here, and it's not in here. Casualties.
Yeah.
You know what they do keep bringing you? Food. Like he's like,
fodder.
this place works out great. Let's
Yeah.
rather
Don't
not be
worry
using a
about
chemical
bounty if
toilet, but
everything's free.
Yeah.
We'll be back shortly. And get
cool.
everyone going.
Yeah, so Bank will lock up after you. He's like, hey, thanks for helping settle those guys down. I know they've been pretty stressed out being here. And gets up, gets into the golf cart. It's like, sorry, one of you is gonna have to face backwards. Just only so many seats here. But
I'll sit in the back. That's fine.
Okay. He will like bring it around and like head for the
Golf
like
cart's
the
just
gate.
like this.
I was
This
gonna
is
say,
Deacon's muscle mass.
The little shocks on it give a little cry of agony.
I mean, it's either that or Papa Wheelie. It's like, which one do you choose?
yeah.
It's all mud. There's plenty for it to sink into. Stick. Yeah. He'll bring it around through this courtyard and like towards the back where there's the skate area. And they will open it for him as he pulls up to it. And this will be like the first that you two have seen of the other side of the gate. We're like, there are these buildings that are like the thing that was out in the field. And there are outside, it's all like the double layer shipping container wall to try to like block off space. And inside here, it's been like 3D printed concrete wall that they're building to encompass the entire zone here.
Mhm.
And the weird castle tower that's up there. Like, but he will bring
There'll
you
be a wizard in
around
there.
to where like the big vault door with the maple leaf will open for you. And then he takes you up to Blue's office. All right. Oh, good. Glad you guys finally made it. Well, if you don't mind waiting for a while, I had a little conversation with your friend here. Come on in. She's had like 2 more chairs, and they're not super comfortable because they had to be like something somebody can.
You see is like Longabaugh takes this big thing of like maple syrup and puts it in his bag. Like,
Martha's like gonna be like, is he okay? No, okay. I guess
yeah, he
he's
looks
okay.
pretty happy.
He's got syrup. He's fine.
He's good. And I think I think Longbow's okay.
Now,
But
tell me,
as
is that maple syrup or is that maple syrup liqueur that I hear about up there?
No,
Is
no,
that-
this is just the
Just the
the
regular?
original
All right.
unfermented goodness.
There we go. Okay. I
Right
just
out of the
wanted to check.
strategic reserve.
I think
Also, I told you there'd be a wizard up here. I told you.
I think she'll raise the one visible eye that's not behind where she like combs her hair over like that little side of her face and head. And I'm like, oh, you've heard of that? It's like, oh, okay. Like, she opens up a drawer and she pulls out 4 little glasses and like a little bottle with like a maple leaf on the side.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna pass it up. I'm not one to partake much, but I'm not gonna pass. That's halfway to communion.
This is good.
There's only so much. I have to make it last. Can't just go down to the store and get more anymore. She's like, but she'll
Thank
pour
you
out
for sharing.
drinks and like, hey, to the future. Clink.
Yeah.
It's like, but
Yeah,
no,
cheers to that.
come on. Longabaugh's been here, and Deacon, have a seat. Jessica's, help yourself. Whatever you want.
She freezes. She straight up freezes.
She like by the time it like kind of like it clicks and you freeze, and like by then she's already like turned away to like put stuff away out of view.
Martha stops dead.
Victor's just like, oh, is that what's going on? Like, who? I don't think Deacon even knows that. He's just like, who's that? Who are we talking about?
Only person should know is Longabaugh.
Right.
But yeah, she'll
Longbow's just gonna look at Blue like, all right. you make this work. You make this work. I'm just looking at you.
she'll turn back around and like Martha seems like she'd be like,
She's like stuck
Rigid,
still, like
pale, like
staring
that.
at Blue. Yeah. Like has not moved. Essentially, yeah.
I think Blue will apologize and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. You looked like somebody else I know."
Don't lie. How did you know that?
Imagine Blue's looked up all of us, or all of you.
Martha will sit down.
I'm feeling a little out of the loop, but
Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. She said, "Absolutely, having meant to upset her." Yeah, that's
Fucking Blue, come on, bro. You're killing me.
cards. There's so many cards. I have all of these cards. What am I going to do with them?
Martha just scoots her chair a little bit closer to Deacon and then just doesn't engage in eye contact.
Yeah, so she will say, Longbow's spoken highly of you. You've done some good stuff. You're an impressive group of takers. You're been out here surviving for a long time. As I'm sure you've seen, we're working on building something here. We're working on, building a community. We're working on building a future for our people, or for, we have the means to build a space, but we need the right people with the right motivation who want to help. And, if you were interested in joining our community, we would be willing to offer that.
Oh. He kind of looks at her. That's kind of a shocker to me. We would just stay here. What is
You could make this place your home and operate up here for us, or if you have other jobs that you want to take, certainly be free to. Because obviously, so long as our security is maintained.
Well, I don't know if we're ready to make that decision, because I think that there's been a lot of momentum and energy put towards, everybody having a future on the other side of the wall.
I understand. It's certainly indifferent from the typical plan for most people who are out here on this side of the river. The river.
Yeah.
Like,
What would can you share a little bit what would be required of us?
Um, kind of like doing taker things for the community here. Helping coordinate takers, other taker groups at some point, probably. Like there's probably a point where like at first we need people who are going to be on the ground and helping us establish our community, as get us the things that we need to finish this process that we're working on. And then after that, there's probably less of you having to go out into the field directly and being able to assist more at the community level.
But the plan would be that this would be our home for our permanent home.
Yes, we are trying to build a permanent place here for our people. The pod that you saw being built outside, as she kind of like gestures up at the map, and like there's like the area that has like the concrete wall around it and like those structures in it. And then there's like kind of like other that are like that part's like really solid on the map, and the other parts are like still kind of like dashed out and like planning and kind of penciled in, where they're able to like first we expand to here, and then we expand out another section and another section and another section with a wall and protection and these buildings that we're able to create, so we can build a community from the ground up that's going to be protected and safe from the rest of everything out here. We lucked out, and a lot of our other infrastructure needs are down below. We're building on top of what's a decommissioned missile silo. We have a lot of very safe space that nothing can happen to because it's many stories underground. But that's not a great place to live on a day-to-day basis. So,
y'all got a missile in there?
Oh no, that was they got rid of that in the 80s. The late 20th century.
Oh yeah, I heard you could like buy one of those if you wanted to back then.
You could what?
Yeah.
They started selling them to people. Yeah, this one was partially converted into condos. That's how part of the space is like already managed for us. So, but we have lots of storage. We have scrap. That's helpful. But yeah, if there's I can get Bank in here and he can answer some questions about the technical aspects of things if you have them. I'm kind of like have that flashback moment to like finding that ring way back when, and Bank actually wearing a ring just like it. That didn't necessarily click in on that. Bank is an engineer. So I'm used to developing to organize and plan this space.
So is Bank spelled with a C or a K? I just got to ask. It's been bugging me.
K.
Okay. I was just curious.
His real name's
Otherwise
Tom.
it'd be.
I don't know.
Okay. Figured otherwise it'd be Bonk, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Thomas Dean, TD, and they call him Bank because TD Bank. That's.
I got you. I've been to Canada.
I've seen that episode of Letterkenny. I know what this joke is supposed to be, but
TD Bank.
Yes. So yeah, we understand that you need some time to think about these things, but yeah, that's what we're up to.
What happens when
Sure.
DHQS finds out about you?
Well, we're a little ways away from where they pay too much attention to. But most of the numbers in Lost call it the T- never, where once they finish their 5-year plan to reclaim the loss that has failed to start for the last 5 years to begin with, we're pretty well fortified. So be able to, we feel secure in our ability to maintain our place, if forced. And we don't think that it's going to be anytime soon that we would be forced to do it.
Mm.
I think when they decide that like, oh no, this is ours again, they're gonna find that there's a lot of people who no longer want it to be theirs, still, and I don't think we're alone in that. So, but
Yeah.
compared to some of the others of those, um, we're probably better suited to excise ourselves from that than a lot of the others probably are.
So
It's a generous offer.
I still don't know what I guess if we were to be takers out of here, what happens to our current obligations? That might be something for the three of us to figure out.
I think she'd want clarifications on which obligations you mean. Like, obviously, we wouldn't expect you to abandon your families, right? Like,
Right.
if you have
Oh.
people who are close to you,
Let's talk about this. real
certainly
quick.
that's understood. Yeah.
Do you have more books than A Wrinkle in Time?
Shut up.
I just gotta ask.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was thinking that exact same thing.
I think
Gonna
she'll turn around
measure
to
the
like
book
the
situation.
map that's on the wall behind her, and like every now and then there's one of those little like fabricated buildings in it that's like a little bit bigger. Like, well, this one's gonna be a school. And then she'll point out to like one of the grayed out ones, and there's like three that are like that. It's like, and we were going to offer these ones as houses of worship.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's a plan. That's a plan for permanent settlement,
Like, yeah,
because
we're not
every
planning on
community
going
needs this
anywhere.
thing. Okay.
We had a
That's pretty
place and it was
serious.
taken from us, so we're taking this place and it's ours now.
I don't. You can't honestly sit there and think that we're going to make this decision and talk about it in front of you, do you?
Oh, no, not stupid. No. Clearly, you guys can have time to talk about it. I do have one other favor to ask you guys. And then, you guys can go on about your business. Banks can coordinate getting you back. Bank can coordinate getting you back out to like a place where you're welcome to depart and take, the members of Trophy back with you. Should they
What
choose to
about
go. I
what
think
about one of
I
those
think we were
farmer
going to
fellas?
make the offer to LoJack as well, but like if he wants to stay here, because he seemed to be liking it here and in a decent
What
spot.
about that farmer fella? The uh chess piece face, I think, is probably the moniker he gave you.
Mhm.
He's got a little girl back in Elevation. Is he free to go as well, or
Yeah.
Are all of them?
Yeah, as long as you guys are going to take them all back to Elevation, like it should not be a surprise to any of them that if strangers show up here, there's a limited pool of people who may have said anything about this place, and we know where to find most of them. But
Well, they're able hands, at least Trophy is. Couldn't they be offered the same opportunity?
okay, I mean, Longabaugh, you've said they were pretty trustworthy. I think if they were offered, a better place, she doesn't say a better place. Mike stuttered. If they were offered a place with opportunities, like yeah, maybe that would work out for them. Yeah, we'll have that conversation with them as well in a minute.
Yeah.
Mhm.
just
Do we have any other questions? Because I feel like we have a conversation to have. But do we have any other questions before we go back to the house?
I can't think of any questions that aren't smart ass, so I think we'll leave it there for now. Have a few of those in the pocket for later, maybe.
Okay, well, bank. We'll have the cart down the stairwell again. So just he'll take you back out there. You guys can think about this. You can talk about it. I'll be along in a couple minutes too. I'll have him take Deacon and Mirtha. Longabaugh, I got another quick question I got to ask you before we go.
Okay.
And she starts like rummaging in a desk drawer. It's like, yeah, it was nice meeting y'all.
Did we get the other favor that she wanted to ask?
I think she's going to ask you about it in a second.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, I'll see you guys down there in a little bit.
Martha just glares at Blue before she leaves. Then leaves.
I think right as the door closed, you catch that like little half a smirk. That's fine.
That's mean. She's so mean. She can't help herself. She's so mean.
What's for dinner?
Start thinking about food. Yeah.
It's the Southern way. That's how you avoid pretty much anything else.
Yeah.
For dinner.
Yeah, so as they head out, Longabaugh, like, so I'm not the only bee in your bonnet, and I know that. And I know you've been doing work for Mr. Jones.
Yep.
It would be a great boon to me and troublesome to you to not comply, if I could find out what he's had you working on.
Oh. Well, what have you put together?
Like, well, it seems like, he's had you scoping out a lot of rail lines, clearing out a lot of spaces, going back and forth to St. Louis. I think he may be starting to get ready to try to move a shipment of some sort.
Yeah, maybe. And that's what the rail lines are best for, right? It's moving a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's been trying to make arrangements and contracts here and there. So we've been seeing little bits of chatter.
That part I haven't. Just the quality of the line and its repair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean you're right. He's moved. He's figured out a path that would work and repaired it at some cost. So yeah, there is a stable line from Elevation to St. Louis.
He has a place to be moving it to.
Yeah, there's a bunch of places in and around St. Louis or just outside of St. Louis, similar to where he's holed up now. Those big old elevators.
It's not quite the question.
Oh,
Grain elevators do exist.
yeah.
I agree.
Well,
He has one to move things where he's planning on moving things to.
yeah, he does.
Okay.
The
I know.
the thing I'm not super clear on right now is exactly saying which one it is, because I'm not sure where I'm going to be in 48 hours. And I feel like if I know where I'm going to be in 48 hours, I'll know whether or not it's okay to tell you that.
My assumption is back in your own bed and impatient.
Maybe.
Unless you have a different plan.
I mean, I don't know if here's my word. Here's my word, Blue. If I tell you where it's going to end up, and I tell you what it is, which you probably already figured that one out. If I tell you where it's going to end up and it burns a bunch of bridges, can I even go back to Elevation? Right. That's my current worry is what are you going to move and how are you going to move and what's the fallout of that movement going to be?
No. Let me back up. I don't want to get in the way of you doing that. I don't want to, you've got relationships, real or cover otherwise. And I'm not trying to mess up. I'm not trying to blow your cover. I'm not trying to destroy your situation. But I'm going to have people to feed. And if I could know where there was something I could get to feed them, that would certainly make that process easier. So I'm not asking you to do anything untoward to Jed Jones. I'm not asking you to tear down a railroad line. I'm asking if you know where it's going and how many units it's going to go into. And I'm not asking you to tell me where it's going.
Okay.
Right? Rest assured, that's fine. That's fair. I'm just asking if you know where it's going and how it's going to get stored there.
Well, I've learned a thing or two about elevation since living there. And that it is the nation's, or formerly nation's, largest grain elevator complex. Where it is going to is not nearly as large. I don't know how much is in there, but I'm imagining this is a one-time trick. And I'm imagining that elevation is going to be a huge wreck after. Because there's no way Jed Jones is staying there. And there's no way that that power base is staying there. And there's going to be something left behind. I don't know how much or any of that kind of stuff, but I think I can say that without blowing up anything too major.
Okay.
Does that give you something to work with? I also have the location of a farm with ripe tomatoes and a big old scary sign that said, "Do not touch."
I think she will reach down into one of the desk drawers and she will take out a small-ish, like maybe yay big, like maybe like the size of like 2 decks of playing cards back to back. It's clearly been like 3D printed out of black filament and it's wrapped in like black shrink wrapped plastic around it. And in one end, it has like one of those stubby black plastic like Wi-Fi router antennas on it.
Mm.
And she sets it on the table. She's like, "Here's what I'm trying to get done. Wherever they're moving stuff to, I want to put one of these into whatever container they put the grain into." I don't need to know it in advance. I don't need to know to go and do it myself. I can give you these and you can just drop them in at the end. Be done with it. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to give you these and you're going to drop them in at the end and you'll be done with it.
Blue. Yeah. Why are you going after the delivery? Why aren't you going after what's left behind?
There's going to be a lot of people there who are going to be abandoned, and we'll certainly reach out to them, make offers. But like you said, you're not sure how full those grain elevators are. And there's a reason he's trying to move that. They've been sitting on grain for 5 years out there. It can't last forever. They're not a huge enclave, but they're keeping everybody fed. That's cutting into profit margins. That's it.
Picks it up.
That's what I'm asking.
He picks it up.
If you know how many of these you'll need to put one in, like if they're using 2 silos, I'll send 2. If they're using 3, I'll send 3.
Oh God, what was the number? I forget what the number was.
6.
6. Okay, gotcha. He's like, well, you better give me like a half dozen.
She rummages around in the drawer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He puts those in his bag.
They probably all have one of those like little plastic tabs that like it's the thing that cuts off the battery power to it until it's time to start up. Just
Yeah.
pull the tab, toss it
Yep.
into the silo.
Yep.
It'll do
His hands are probably shaking a little bit when he does it, just because like, oh man, this does not feel great. But yep, I'll pick it up. Blue, it's really good to see what all you've done with this place and the stuff that we've been able to scrounge up so far.
Hopefully, you, your friends, maybe Trophy. There's more to come.
There's I feel like we've really had an impact here, and I didn't even know about
We
it.
definitely have.
And that part feels good.
Several key parts of how things have been operating here that we owe to you and your friends.
It's good. It's good to hear. This part in my bag doesn't feel so great. I'll just say that, just so I can say it. You don't have to take anything back or anything like that. I'm just gonna put it out there. But this place you're building with the weird NASA shit we found, it's pretty great.
Thank you. I'm pretty proud of where you've come to.
Yeah.
She stands up and like brushes her pants off. Let's get downstairs because we gotta go. Get you back with your friends, and we'll go talk to Trophy. So yeah, I think. Do you want to take a pause there?
Should we take a break? Is that what you're saying before we have the in-character conversation?
I don't think. Oh, well, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to cut off your in-character conversation. Yeah, if you want to do that, certainly.
Can when we come back.
It's up to you. Honestly, it slipped my mind that it was a thing. So, yeah, I just wanted to be mindful, like make sure there was a break.
Yeah, I think that's fair actually, because we'll probably talk for the rest of the night.
Probably.
We have so
Yeah.
much to unpack.
Yeah.
So yeah, break now and then we'll come back and chat.
Okay, cool. We will see everybody a couple minutes past the hour.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bye. Put your little cards here again for a second. So you know we're here. We are. Hi, we're back. We were hanging out, visiting Camp Maple Leaf, Vault Maple Leaf, whatever you want to call it here. The ex-missile silo turned Canadian.
I love to think that Mike, you've actually been running us through a Fallout campaign this whole time. We didn't know that we weren't the vault dweller. We just met the vault dweller, Blue.
We'll just keep calling them casualties and not feral ghouls.
Yes.
Nah, we're gonna come across somebody here eventually that's gonna be carrying about 6,000 pounds worth of scrap metal and weapons on them,
Bottle caps,
inexplicably,
right?
and we're gonna be
You
like,
even mentioned the scrap metal down below. You're like, I got lots of
Yeah.
scrap metal down there.
yeah.
Yeah, I said
we're
if you want to
gonna-
get to the tower, you go through the overseer's office.
Yes.
That's that's.
I mean,
I
if
don't know my
knew
way
that we
around the inside of a vault.
needed-
Come on.
If I know that we needed to get bottle caps, I would have done that.
No, we've been like picking bottle caps everywhere.
I thought it was ID cards. Apparently, it was actually bottle caps. So, are
There's
we like
different enclaves,
allowed to
different plans.
be away from other people and listening devices and fuck knows what else?
Yeah, I think you guys can get on the golf cart with Bank, and Blue and Longabaugh come down the stairs behind you. After a couple minutes, there's another golf cart there. Everybody heads back to that front courtyard type area. I think they will. What they'll do is they'll let you guys hang out in the house. They're not going to close the door because they can see you going in and out here. They know what's going on. But they take the members of Trophy and Chess Piece Face, and they head over to like a spot where there's part of chain link fence to the by where the wall is, where like between the layers of the walls where all the Laytons hang out, so that they can like have Bex as part of the conversation too. So like when you're ready to talk, we're over there, so we can have everybody in one spot. Bex can be involved in the conversation. We'll talk. Cool. But I know you guys have stuff to talk about, so You're welcome to hang out in here. We won't lock it behind you. And they head across the courtyard.
And as they're starting to walk away, it's like, all right, now's our time to run, right? Just kidding.
It's like, you
Getting a
got the
couple
keys.
miles
All you
in.
got to do is get into that shipping container, get your stuff, and get back out, and then get through the
It's-
2 chain link fences to get back out.
So easy.
Yeah.
So easy.
It's fine. The guys in the yellow safety vests certainly won't notice.
Nah,
Nah.
we just give them a wave, right? It's
Nor
like,
will the ones hanging out up there or over there.
go have your conversation.
Yeah.
I was just messing with you.
We'll be over here when you're ready.
So new home. It's kind of a wild
Interesting.
idea.
Interesting offer. You know, personally, if I didn't have one foot on the other side of the Mississippi already, say if this offer had been given to me a month ago, 2 months ago, I wouldn't have hesitated. It sounds like a pretty sweet deal. The environment here, not bad. I mean, I do feel a little bribed with the 3 places of worship business. That's excessive. My tent's just fine. I understand maybe that was meant to be some kind of draw to this place, but I don't even need a church. That's like secondary.
But if others had
As-
churches, you would want one too.
I mean, man, I don't know. I can do that in my house.
That's
I've
true.
done that. That's how I started my church, man. Just talking to people in my house. It's not a big deal. But I mean, it's a nice offer. I appreciate the gesture. I see it for what it is. I also feel a little left out that my name was not cool enough to get dropped for dramatic effect. I'm kind of putting the pieces together on that one.
What is
Apologies.
what is the name that was not dropped? I don't think I know it.
I mean, most of the time I just went by Zeke. Ezekiel, of course, for the
Ezekiel,
full
right.
first name. Surname's inconsequential. First name seems enough. I don't know anybody else's last name necessarily. I don't. Maybe I do. I probably forgot.
I mean, out of character,
Oh.
technically, you do know Martha.
You're right. That is a good. Your father is a celebrity. That's fair shakes. But
I
yeah,
wasn't aware that anyone really knew it either. But yeah, it's Jessica.
Jessica. I prefer Deacon these days. That's just, I mean, even outside of the business, that's just kind of my style. I like it. It's a little impersonal, kind of removes me, a little larger than life kind of as an everyman type character. I think that kind of helps in that respect, for what I do out here. But yeah, it is an intriguing offer, though I can't say it's necessarily the one I'm leaning towards at this moment, if I had to be honest.
They it's kind of interesting. All these little jobs that I kept cropping up, they all had an impact here. It's kind of cool to see it. Like that NASA thing we ripped off, that's that 3D printer that they're using, that concrete printer. And the
That's why I didn't know you could print concrete.
Either.
yeah. And then the other thing they had, that cement building that we kind of cased back at the rail yard. I think they're using that to make all the cement for the printer. Little things like that here and there. I told them where some potatoes were. And so now everybody heard potatoes. Just kind of wild how much impact we've had on this place. But yeah.
I don't know if this is what I want for Puck. But I don't know what I want for Puck is on the other side either.
I honestly assumed that my job as a contact for Blue wasn't going to end once I got on the other side of the wall. I thought they had more work for me to do over there, but it sounds like they don't. It sounds like this is the place, and they're going to make it as big and good as they can.
There's
So
still attacks going on the other side.
it sounds like it.
So
But that must be a different group. It must be some other, either, I don't know, wing or cell, or maybe it's completely disconnected. Just Canadians that ended up over there and are trying to do something else. I'm not really sure. But I had assumed me going over the wall was part of the plan. But sounds like now it's not. But I still got a choice in that one. And I want to make sure that you guys go where you can go. And I never really imagined having a place out here. So I'm a little on the fence about the idea. But yeah. So I don't know where I want to go. But I want to make sure that no matter what, you guys get to go where you want to go.
I mean, it even after if we get on the other side of the wall, it's not easy to think of you two not being there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a reason to stay here. It's just a weird thought, I guess, not to have you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are about as close to friends and family as I can get these days. We've been together for so long and done so much. I don't really like the idea of parting ways either. And I think that would probably be my deciding factor. It's exciting what's going on over here. No, I won't lie about that. But we've been together for a while now, and I don't really want that to stop. Kind of think no one else would understand. If I ended up somewhere else and you guys weren't there, I'd have nobody to talk to about any of the things that we've been through and done.
For sure, we couldn't. I don't think we'd actually be allowed to talk about anything that happened over here if we went over there. I'd kind of blow the whole like we've always lived here kind of thing.
Right.
That I think is the idea.
Oh man, how do I unpack some of this stuff though? Like, I have to go and hang out in each other's basements, pretend like we're playing D&D or some stupid shit, but really we're just talking about the old days.
I mean, where I'm from, people tend to bottle it up, and then one day they die. It's
I'm Deacon.
that's how folks are down. Or they come to confession with somebody like myself that is not required. And now I'm not required legally to report anything to any sort of governing body. So people can kind of tell me whatever they want. There ain't nothing I can do about it. But it's confession or you bottle it up, kind of over there. I cannot vouch for the scruples of any man or woman, or person of the cloth on the other side of the wall, but that is my own particular ethos regarding that.
Yeah.
But all of us, we could stay together, right?
Yeah.
I don't see why not. It's new identities.
Yeah. I think either here or there, we could stay together no matter what.
I think for me, while they would have schools and books here, it's not the opportunities that Puck getting to live like a real life, whatever that is over there.
Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of see what it would be here, you know.
It's still going to take a long time to build what they want to build. And
Yeah.
maybe a younger me that hasn't been through all the stuff we've been through would find that an exciting thing to build up, to help with. I just kind of want to at least have Puck somewhere where we don't have to worry about, well, any of that every night.
Yeah. Mike, do we know what our setup would be like over on the other side of the wall? Have we already like figured out some of those things of like where we'd end up and standard of living and all that kind of stuff?
Y'all actually have a pretty good amount of money already, so you would probably be able to make it to sorry, I'm trying to think of like where all the rivers are because I don't actually know my geography well for like Illinois. But like you could make it to someplace in Illinois that's like not Chicago because Chicago fell. But like Springfield or someplace that's kind of be farther over towards like Indiana or maybe even Indy, depending on what's going on. But you're probably looking at like quarantexture apartments, and probably needing to find some sort of a job once you're in that space. You're not like, oh, we retired to the big mansion, you know.
Right.
It's going to be a concrete box apartment with like what looks like a water sprinkler in case there's a fire, but actually if it detects blight, it sprays napalm in your apartment. So
What? Oh my god.
the
like,
architecture
we
for dealing
haven't-
with a zombie apocalypse world is like, there's some notes in the book.
Wow.
We haven't like done the final big job either, which helps
No.
push us
Yes,
past
we have.
that. So
We have not done
Potentially.
Operation Curry Goat yet.
yeah, no.
Is there, this is something I don't know about the game. Is there like kind of like blades? Is there like a, if you have this much bounty when you finish, you get this kind of apartment? Or is it like, no, you get
No.
this. This is what you can have.
Yeah, you make it over, you have a good nest egg to start with, but like you're
You live a
in a
real life.
play. Yeah, you're still in
Economic
now instead of being in the loss where it's like, oh, the casualties roam up on you all the time, you're just in like Night City. Like it's
Where
Gotcha.
the bozos roll up. On you.
Yeah, where other problems are there. Yeah, different problems.
Is there
Okay.
not a nice little quiet spot of woods in the Shenandoah Valley
I'm sure there
where I can just
is.
build a little cabin and chillax? Or is this like,
there is, but I watched John Oliver this weekend. There is, and there's somebody who owns all that land and will not allow anybody to move in because they'd have to cut down the trees, and they lease those trees for carbon neutrality purposes. So yeah.
sucks?
Yes.
Our company's carbon
Okay,
neutral. It's because we
so-
pay money to this guy who owns land that has trees on it. Not because he added trees to fix it, but he just had
So-
trees there.
Our ultimate goal as a crew is to have enough money to get over the wall and go build a little place in some woods where Deacon can have a church. And
It sounds
there's
like
a
that's-
school
Yeah.
nearby.
It sounds like
I
what we're
don't-
gonna get is some low middle income housing, and we get to go like scrounge for jobs.
They're kind of like same shit, different day.
It's
But
like it's like the
it's-
set of problems are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is like, yeah, you will probably end up doing a job, getting a job to pay ongoing bills and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But it's a process of getting a job and doing the job. It's not a process of let's go through the school full of casualties and try not to piss off the people who strung crystals on the walls,
Yeah.
because that's what we have to do to make the money, right? It's
Right.
like, hey, being the manager at the car wash is lame. Vectors don't bite my face off, though.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a strong point.
Yeah.
That's an extremely strong point.
Yeah.
You know what you don't find here at the mini mart? The Bigfoot aberrant.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm off it now. That's a negative for me. I'm sorry, you broke it. You broke it. It's all over. I could not go.
It's like, no, I'm gonna find that Bigfoot.
I'm gonna find that Bigfoot. That's the one thing you got to know about me.
But it is like pull yourself up by the bootstraps and you might be able to make something of yourself.
Yeah.
Right? It's that's still that
I mean,
scene.
it's still
As gross as it
dystopian
is.
capitalism on that side, but it's not
It's not zombie apocalypse.
dystopian
And
capitalism.
zombies.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
You
I
could
mean,
make yourself
okay.
solidly what counts mathematically as the middle class. Who's, there's the 1%.
Okay,
There's like what you can aspire to.
I think,
Here's another.
go ahead.
Just another thing, Martha, is that I'm sure they've got lots of books in schools in the recession. I'm pretty sure about 90% of them are DHQS propaganda. Like, I would also put that on the scales here, and that's just me. I just thought about that, Like, we're talking about the original mechanism for indoctrination of the youth as long as the government's been around. And that's a mixture of conspiracy and reality. I understand it sounds a bit extreme, but look, the Pledge of Allegiance said it every single morning. Looking back, kind of messed up now that they try to kill me every day. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's something to consider.
You said the pledge, but it didn't. The country didn't say it back. I hear you there.
It's ask not what your country can do for you, because what they can do for you is put a bullet in your skull. All right. Today, that's what they can do for you. It's a nuanced situation, is I guess the bottom line here. There's a lot of ins and outs and ups and downs. And I mean, we could play Little House on the Prairie with the Canadians, which sounds a little less brainwashy, maybe a little iffy on that one. And Blue is outwardly antagonistic at times. We all saw that.
She's kind of mean. She got a little streak in her for sure.
Can I look around and see if there's anything that Martha in her paranoid state would think is like a listening device?
Sure. Give me an awareness check.
Sure, I'd love to. I failed that. Wait, no, I didn't. Other way around. Those are how those dice are read. Sorry. That's a 14 over 5.
Okay. There is nothing in here that appears to be a listening device of any sort. I think on the other side, like what you do is you catch part of like a conversation a couple dudes are having in the courtyard, like not the people that you're meant to be talking to in a minute, but other people who were there, and you can kind of like see them out like one of the windows, and one of them has like a UVic tablet that he was checking something on before like slipping it back into a pouch to mute it, because he wasn't supposed to have that here, but I needed to put something in. But they are.
So was it not really Ubik?
He's
Was it something
special.
else?
He's
It
special.
was the people who are like part of the overseer structure, like maybe they get access to UBIC stuff in this place because they know to keep
Sounds
it
right.
safe.
Sounds good.
We're trying not to let like all the randos ping the location. Like,
come on.
Now I see
the power structure. It's a digital divide. I see it, Mike.
Yeah. They've got NordVPN.
That's right.
They've got UBIC VPN to get to UBIC.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
But they are talking because they were just watching a report about how there was a family that was trying. So the government has like sort of like things where like if you're found in the recession and you're tested as immune, um, there's basically like government laws that they draft you. And it was people who were like having an argument trying to get their kid back who had been
Oh,
caught
I
up in like a
forgot
high
all
school
about that.
sweep.
So
Like
Oh, I
their high
forgot all
school
about
was
that.
doing like immunizations because COVID-42 is a problem this summer.
COVID-42.
And they tested immune, and they're like, you know, he's only 17, he shouldn't be
How-
eligible for something. Yeah.
those don't exist though.
What don't exist?
Or I thought immune didn't exist to them. Like it was like a big science. Never mind. We'll talk about it later.
No,
Um,
immunes are a thing because immunes volunteer for the government program,
There you go.
wherein
There you go. We
their
found it.
bone marrow is harvested for the making of suppressant.
There you go.
That
Uh,
okay.
I know.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I've had the bone marrow extracted from my body.
that's what
That
they
sucks.
do.
That
Like, that's what
sucks.
Martha has been freaked out about, like since
That
day one.
hurts. That's painful.
There is, I guess, it's a concern whether we're here or over there. But that's that both Puck and both of us are.
Right.
And it could be very messed up over there, or it could be weaponized against us here.
As a timeout, there's a reward bounty program there too for ratting out your neighbors. So
Over in the recession.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. If you rat out your neighbor, you get some Scoobies with DHQS. They pat you on the head.
Yeah.
Say thanks, good job.
Here you go, good boy. Yeah.
Here's your 10 star, buddy.
Talking about it. Back in the day, I talked to a lot of fellas that have been, overseas, all over places. And when you live a certain lifestyle for long enough, it's kind of hard to stop doing that. And I mean, like, it would be a bit, it'd be a bit strange to not have so much roaming room, I mean, not zombie infested or casualty infested roaming room. Sure, no casualties, but like, I don't know. There's freedom out here. It's like the West, kind of. I mean, it is the West, and it's terrible in a lot of ways, but there is freedom.
It is
to
very
it.
bad. It's very bad.
And this place is not bad. I mean, you talk to Bex. She's got a nice little hotel room set up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like,
Got a little studio apartment. Sure, everything's made out of sheet metal, but still, it's not a jail cell.
I mean, that's because sheet metal's what they got. It's not like they got the dregs. It's like,
I mean, it is way better than elevation for Bex.
I
I don't.
There's been something that's kind of nagging at me, and this is part of the reason why I was on the fence earlier. Here, we make a big difference. You look at all the stuff they got. I mean, maybe an eighth of it is shit we touched. Stuff that we brought to them. And that there's a certain appeal to that. And that's the thing that keeps me on the fence, is that like I do like helping. And hell, even when I get over on the other side, my thought is to keep helping. Like not just be a burger flipper in burger flipper land, but also to keep helping however I can. But here I can see the impact that we have had. and that does matter to me on a level. So it's something to consider, that we would have a big impact here if we wanted to.
There's also, I get to decide for Puck, right? Like, he's my ward.
Yeah.
But what about for you, Deacon?
It's a good. That's I have been thinking about that. I don't know. Chloe and Avery are gonna think about it. Honestly, I don't know. They don't go out here and do this kind of stuff. They don't. I mean, I'd have to talk to them, you know. I'm pretty sure if I asked them to, they'd follow me here. It's just that, I mean, they followed me halfway across the country before that. We've been around, you know, they'd follow me, but I'm not going to make that decision for them. That's not, I mean, Brother Avery, he's old. He's getting up there. He's not exactly about to be flipped. He might get greeter at Walmart, you know? And I don't even know if they do that anymore, you know?
But
So
if
I
he
don't
were
know what
here,
if he were here, he could just sit on a porch and sip a mint and julep, I imagine. This place seems pretty laid back. And I mean,
well, he's always helpful in elevation. So
yeah, I mean, he's helpful. He's handy. He's like a little Farmer Macmillan or whatever kind of type. You know, he'll tend his garden, but he's not doing any heavy lifting. I don't know what they'd expect of him over there. And I mean, Sister Chloe, you know, her nerves get to her sometimes, but she's reliable, taking care of little ones and stuff like that. I don't know. I'd have to ask him.
that's the concern, right? We're not going to be able to talk about it when we're in elevation, right?
That's a good, yeah. Not wrong there.
I mean,
We could, I mean, I feel like if I just told him that there was another enclave that had reached out and was a pretty sweet deal. I'll need some specifics from Miss Blue and all that kind of stuff. But you know, if I could present them with a package without too many specifics, I think that would probably be
Offer letter with specifics of the benefits.
an offer letter. So-
picture of the living quarters and
yeah, a little brochure. Y'all, you reckon they got brochures?
I don't know if they're at the brochure stage, you know, they started the outreach.
Bet they all got maple leaves on them anyway. But I mean, you know, I could talk to him, but I just don't know. It's kind of one of those grass is greener situations, but I ain't even got to take a look at the grass, so I'm just kind of thinking it's greener.
Yeah.
Could be brown. I don't know.
In the
Might
reservation.
not
you
even
mean?
rain. The recession, yeah.
Yeah, or sorry, in the recession. Yeah.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. And I mean, this place sounds like we'd get kind of promoted to sort of officer type position and just get to direct things. That sounds kind of nice.
You two not running out into danger and potentially getting
And you
bit.
also not getting into danger so much would be nice.
Yeah, that would be great. But like,
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd probably still go out sometimes. I just
Look at her. You're
Not as much.
You're killing your whole argument here, Deacon.
I mean, not
Deacon.
as much, but like, look,
The Yeti's not going to find itself. We know.
Bigfoot's out there somewhere, I imagine. There's probably some really wild stuff to see out there. And you know, I'm not going to give up living in a concrete box to live in a different concrete box. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to use my freedom as it exists. And plus, I got to have something to come up with sermons because I'm not just going to, this place isn't particularly inspiring in that respect.
It's a little
Next thing you know-
industrial.
Next thing you know, I'd be giving a sermon about maple syrup. And that's just,
you know you've gone too far. You got to bring it back.
it's just, it feels a little trite, you know, lacks the spark. But I mean,
Longabaugh is going to go over and start making coffee.
is it a Keurig? No, it's not a Keurig.
I assume
got
this
the
house
Keurig,
has
we
the
got the
ability for me
French
to boil
press.
water and some beans.
There's
that I
like
can-
probably like a really tiny camp stove and like
Yeah.
one of those little like Violetti milk pots, the little tin
Ooh.
ones where you screw it together into one piece to make the thing.
Yep.
Because they
You'll
don't,
be
you know, there's stuff in here for the people inside to be okay and comfortable and operating, and not necessarily enough stuff that like they're gonna weaponize it. So
I don't know. Them
It's like,
milk
yeah,
pots
this
are
will-
pretty sturdy.
yeah, but like the little camp stove, it's like you're not gonna get that into a flamethrower. Like the biggest thing you're gonna do is burn this house down with yourself in it. So like,
Right. Yeah. With like a little micro canister of kerosene that like works for like two
Yeah.
uses, and then you got to
yeah,
hand
like
it
the
over.
little butane cartridge kind of scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, and they go over to the giant tank they got, and they fill it up. And you go, you're like, man, you got all this, and you're rationing me. It's like you can have as much as you like, but only one small thing at a time.
Taking a tablespoon at a time. That's all you need.
Mhm. What about everything that's going on in elevation? Like, how do we separate ourselves from what is going on there
I mean,
safely?
Elevation is days are numbered, right? That's pretty evident from all the jobs we've been on, I think.
Yeah.
So we're either going over there or we're going somewhere else anyway. And we're hired to do a job at a time. Just one. If we go the other way, we've got NDAs, right? And secret, safe, what have you. You're just walking in the sunset, and cowboys have been itching for a job for about 6 months. Maybe they'll get one, right? We're kind of dominating the job market out here as far as Mr. Jones is concerned. There's other people. We're not irreplaceable. Just convenient and experienced.
So we
Yeah.
do this last ride, turn this in, and
It's an
move
option.
away.
It's an option.
I think
I
that
mean, it's a good stopping point, right? Like, we'll get paid for this job and move on.
yeah, maybe it seems like Jed is going to want us to do the move
Probably.
because he's had us as his like one vendor, his one posse. Bring back Tuesday. We've been his one crew for all these big deals.
Man, I don't know how we got him to overlook those ornery horses. That's such a plus.
Yeah. I think if we disappear now, that'd be a bigger problem. I think we have to see elevation through to the end.
But that could
Fair.
put, if we probably do have to see elevation through to the end. You're not wrong, but if we don't move Puck and Avery and Chloe out of there, that's a bargaining chip against us to walk away at any point, right?
Mhm.
Like, if we do the last big, like I was worried this time around having them look after Puck.
Remember, he likes it that there's people there. What is his soft spot or tough spot or whatever it is?
Families.
His family ties to the place. So if we, I think you're right. We should have a safety step for our people. But the timing of when to do that is going to be really tight. Because if they leave and Jed finds out, that's suspicious. You know?
I mean, is it question? And this might be overly simplistic and naive. If we tell Jed that we're just making some arrangements for after elevation is done with, because I don't think it takes a rocket scientist or a
Not
spec
from-
ops engineer.
Not from
to
our
know that-
vantage point with everything.
Not exactly, not even from our vantage point. If we're just making arrangements to move on to the next place,
Right.
who could blame us?
Yeah,
You know,
that's fair. That's
That's
fair.
not unreasonable. It's Mr. Jones, he's a reasonable, if not nasty man at times.
Okay.
But I just feel like that's not unreasonable. And if he gets a little aggro on us and wants to hold our loved ones hostages to assume a job is done, that's a side of him that I've not seen. And one that I would certainly not be overly enthused to meet. It'd be a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that would require a response. And I think he knows that.
I mean, it's not deceptive. We're lining up another place to go.
Yep.
Originally, that was going to be across the river. Now it may be to this undisclosed location in the middle of somewhere.
It's not like we have to give him a forwarding address.
Right.
No.
Because he's not going to give us one either. Wherever he's going, he's gonna be high on the hog with his other, top of the stacks, top of the elevator folk.
Okay, we're gonna have to go talk to Trophy in a second, but I have one more paranoid question. Longabaugh.
He like sets down some coffee cups and puts out some of his brand new maple syrup. It's like, this is fresh. Much fresher than what I've been serving up earlier. What's your question?
Obviously, Blue knows who I am.
Yeah.
Are these people, is she going to find a way to weaponize that?
I don't think so.
Because she had me dead to rights and scared to my boots.
Yeah. I don't think, well, hold on a second, let me ask you. Are you talking about the family thing or the other thing?
Mhm. Yeah.
The family thing? I don't think so. I mean, I can ask her. Straight up ask her. But my read is she's building this place out here. And she doesn't really want to go piss off the next president of DHQS. Right? By saying, hey, I got your big political token out here. Right? Like, she don't want that. She wants you under the radar more than you want to be under the radar. In a way, she has so much to lose if your whereabouts get out. Is how I see that. That's the other thing. She's building something out here with all these people, and that's hers to lose. Right? She's scared. She's scared of us or Trophy walking away and giving up this location. Right? And I'll be honest with you guys. If Rigid were here, I'd be having a very tough conversation with him right now. And that's something that I don't say like lightly, right? Because I don't like thinking of him in this way. But that is something that was a problem. And this moment right now would have been tough. Very tough for me to consider. Because there's a lot of people that could lose a lot if we were kind of loose lips somewhere else, right? And she's taken some trust in us and in Trophy. She's willing to let them walk, willing to let us walk. We don't know where the place is, but fuck, we could describe it. You could see it from a helicopter. You know, she has a lot to lose here, and I think it says something that she's willing to let us all go.
Well, I trust you, and if you trust her,
I trust that she cares a lot about this place, and
Yeah.
she's been ornery, no doubt, but she cares deeply about this place, and as long as we respect that and keep that in mind when we evaluate, I think we'll find our path here about what her likely behavior is, because I don't think that she's gonna put a big target on her back against DHQS using you, least of all. Hell, Canadians in the loss, that's already bad enough.
it's a good thing that none of us exist, eh?
It's good that we're all dead.
So we're bargaining for Trophy to be here, which means bringing Mary here.
Well, Trophy's going to make that decision.
I mean,
themselves,
Trophy
right?
makes that decision, but that is part of it, is Mary coming here. What about Anna and her father?
Right.
I mean, just looking at the facts of it, Anna's got a better life here than she does in Elevation. She'd have one. I mean, it's still living in a cage, but it's
Nicer.
living in an upscale loft cage, upscale industrial, whatever you want to call it, rather than a nice corral, a bunkhouse. I don't even know.
Oh man, what do you think's going to happen to the visitor center when all this shit goes to pot in Elevation?
Probably a handful of vectors, if I'm being, if not a bit pessimistic. Just, I mean, chaos. Probably gonna be a fair amount of good old fashioned chaos in Elevation, I'd have to say. If your feudal lord absconds with the majority of your food supplies
And treasure.
and
Yeah.
I don't know what happens but a peasant revolt, which historically have not ended particularly well
For the people who are captive at the moment.
for the people who are I mean, really for most
Anybody.
people. I mean,
Yeah,
in the long
yeah.
run, we got here, which I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that
We got
better?
here to this day.
We,
This
we
day
got
right
here
now.
to the zombie apocalypse, which is not, I don't know necessarily numerically better
Oh,
than
man.
medieval feudalism, but
Do you think Bobby Hill knew something about this?
I had
Never
not
did
thought
figure that
about
one
that.
out.
in several
Like,
months.
not this, but the farmers went far enough away from Elevation to be too close to something this group was working on.
Discovered something.
They
Oh.
don't seem above, no offense, but sorry, I was just thinking about Frankenberry.
Kind of dark. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But we never did figure out what happened.
I mean,
That-
Frankenberry has like 2 kids and
And one of
sorry,
them's
I just
Bobby's.
there's
Yeah.
what?
And one of them is Bobby's. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bobby's
that's
kid.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, Blue did say that she planned to reach out to the survivors of Elevation. And
I mean, have you asked Blue if she took out Bobby Hill? Have we asked that question?
No, I didn't even cross my mind that idea.
I mean, it could be, can't rule anybody out. I mean, I can rule myself out. I was not there. I know where you were.
Yeah.
Like, there's a handful of people I know where they were on that
Yeah.
day. Not
It's
much
just-
else.
It's not Deacon. It's not Longabaugh. It's not Frankenberry.
Right.
There's just
Not Sister Chloe. I don't think. I'd be surprised.
there's just weird coincidences, and I don't know.
Yeah.
That is everything else aside, I wouldn't. That'd probably bother me if we didn't figure that out. But even if we were going to the recession, that bothered me a little bit. Just kind of
Yeah.
wanted to think. Maybe I'm sensitive. Maybe that's
No.
a bit silly, but that bothered me. That's just kind of one of the things that sticks with you, you know.
I'm just thinking of all the people in Elevation that are gonna be so screwed over.
So it's
Yep.
that fellow that owns the bar,
Right? Larry?
Old Ralph.
Ralph.
old Ralph.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can't go cash a check at old Ralph's, I'm missing out. I don't know. It's complicated.
Yeah.
A lot of moving parts.
It feels like this is the better option, though. That's kind of where it sounds like.
Yeah, I've kind of swung the other way, not to be too pendular.
No,
But-
it's you think about just being over there because it's safer. You think it's safer, but
Hello, visitor.
it's very late.
Tiny visitor. You
Uh,
should not be awake at this hour.
Yeah, should not.
It's all right.
Worth it.
Where that you think of just being over there, you don't have to deal with the monsters that are out here, but there's monsters over there.
It's different.
And
I don't know that you can just shoot them folks.
no, I think they look down upon that.
They might have a very violent opinion about that, wouldn't they?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody looks at you sideways here, you can deal with that however you please, honestly, for better or worse. Over there, they've got, that's kind of a thing. I don't know.
I think that we worked out that Huck would be safer here.
Certainly less people would be attempting to harvest him, and even to find out his status. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A random school sweep, who can plan for that sort of thing, right? That's
They're
I don't think this.
they're doing vaccinations. Yeah.
vaccinations. Those are important. It'd be great if you could feel safe knowing that you can get those without the possibility of being harvested for your bone marrow.
Do we have any other questions for Blue? I feel like that's the other thing here, right? We've had some time to think and talk. Is there anything else we need to know from her to make it our final decision?
Does she know who killed Bobby Hill? I think that's a question we should ask.
Okay.
I mean, just in general,
If it's them, like at least we know, and we can, or they can maybe lead us to the path. I just want the safety for Chloe and Avery and Puck and us.
Yep.
And to know what we can do, not as takers, not to have to go out there all the time.
Yep.
Do we have skills other than killing casualties?
Well, I think that what she would end up doing is putting us in charge of managing taker crews. So we would be here setting up jobs, putting crews together, making sure they're safe, and sending them out to do dangerous stuff, and
I mean,
giving them what they can to get back. But if we have other skills, we do those other skills here instead.
Something is kind of a bit strange now I'm thinking about it. I haven't heard much talk of bounty or payment or things like that since I've been here.
That's probably a
mean,
very good one. Are we
Is
the
is it
socialist collective? What?
is this a cashless society that we're entering? That's a
Yeah.
pretty good. I'd be curious about the economic situation.
Yeah, where are we swinging from communism to capitalism? I'm just
We're on that spectrum,
curious.
are we? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Yeah,
Like,
'cause,
I'm all for giving people stuff and taking care of it. That's like the bread and butter
yeah.
Mhm.
of
What
Jesus.
what
But
what we have been given so far in forms of payment for some of the stuff we've done so far has been, aerial support and random acts of benefit, but no monetary exchange. So
Kindness was not the right word for the drone strikes. Yeah.
yeah, no, just
Yeah.
benefit, not kindness, benefit. The warm coats when we were hit with a flash cold, that's a benefit.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but that doesn't keep us
Right.
what's
that-
going to keep us fed
Right.
and clothed.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah. How does that happen? So, okay. So that's a good question. What is the economic model here? Is it what we're used to? Is there something different? What do they know about Bobby? And do I need?
and that's honestly an idle curiosity, but it is. I would like to get some, because that's a loose end I want to tie up before I retire to my porch to sip a mint julep.
Really, that's the drink of choice for you in the
That's
South?
just kind of the most fun one to say.
Oh, okay. That just seemed very like Kentucky Derby. So I was very
I could make
curious.
moonshine. Actually, I should probably work on getting some Sacramento wine. Most of the United States is now suitable for the cultivation of wine grapes due to the intense heat and dry climate.
Mm,
There you go.
Therefore, Sacramento wine business is good.
so do you want to ask those questions sans us and before we talk to Trophy, or
I think we can all be there for that.
just call
And-
Blue back in here?
I mean, we might be able to just get that from Brick,
Bank?
right?
Bank.
What bank? My apologies, bank. We might be able to get that from bank. Just how you guys?
If you want to know about the economics, you ask TD Bank. Yeah.
Yeah.
TD Bank.
So economics and Blue might be the one to know about Bobby, but yeah, okay. So it doesn't matter to me. I can go, or we can all go. It doesn't matter.
I mean, I feel like, I don't know, I'm not going to be so bold as to say that we probably know everything that's going on, but I feel like we know enough to just be present for conversations now, know. And the rest of it, I don't care to know. I feel like I know exactly how much I want to know about things other than the questions I've posed you.
Okay, then let's go get Bank and ask him to get us in contact with Blue so we can ask our last two questions.
I mean, Bank and Blue are just like across the courtyard.
Oh,
there.
she's over there.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Well then,
Mhm.
sweet.
because
We'll
they were over there.
We
talking.
just did
I'll
the
give her a little. I'll give her a
Yeah.
little wave and be like,
Are you trying to get Blue or Bank?
Blue. I didn't realize
Blue,
that she was
okay.
over there. So yeah.
Yeah, she'll come across, and you can see that like there are some people who have like kind of little market stalls, kind of like back in one corner, like for like JoJo's ammunition, right? Stuff like that. Starts back there.
Yes.
But yeah, Blue will come back across, kind of messing with her hair to make sure it's kind of like forward enough for her tastes, and
Oh, like is there like there's gotta be like a porch or something, like
there's like a
including
like a it's
there's an
probably not
area
like
in
a
front of
full
the house
porch.
that has
Like
some,
this is probably like a mobile home or something like that.
okay.
If not
Gotcha.
something that's also built out of like a shipping container, as like a lot of the things in this enclave.
Gotcha. So I'm
At
leaned
least
I'm
the
leaned up
initial
against a
portion of
crate.
the enclave are. Yeah,
Not a
and there is like
not a swing.
like a 6-foot wide platform with a couple steps leading up to it here outside the door.
Okay. Cool. I was like, hey, Blue, I think we're in a pretty good place. We kind of figure out how we're feeling. But we did have 2 questions if you have a second.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
All right. So
What you need?
first question, easy question. How do people like make money here, get paid, spend money? Is it like what we're used to with bounties, or what's the
Yeah,
system?
I mean, bounty and crypto transactions based on bounty as a currency are just kind of the baseline.
Okay.
She explains it in far better terms, but like,
Sure.
yeah,
The system
like,
is the same.
we're interoperable with any other place that you're going to end up. You're not going
Okay,
to,
cool.
oh, you
they
go to
feed
somewhere
their
else. Like,
people.
why don't you have our glass beads? Yeah. Well, people, it's kind of a similar situation to elevation. Like the people who live in elevation and do jobs, like they earn enough
get
that
food.
they're cared for, but like they're not going to. Old Ralph is never going to make it over the wall by the money that the bar makes. Right?
Right.
It will never happen. It just that the income potential for that is not there. If you wanted to do something that requires cash to do it, you have to go the taker route.
Gotcha.
So certainly you guys all have money that would be banked that would like give you a good nest egg and would put you in a good spot. But like if she's talking about like having a job and doing a thing and like having you help coordinate stuff, that's kind of that standard subsistence level. Like you would be fine.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be making big moves, but like everybody would be taken care of.
So it's
And
kind of like
probably slightly but it wouldn't be like way above the quality of life that would be in elevation, but it's an improvement from what the quality of life would be in elevation.
Gotcha.
is it like it costs 7 bounty per month to live here. You make 8 bounty per month, so you can get you a nice bottle of whiskey every couple months. Like, is it kind of that? Like old Ralph's getting a little extra dessert every few weeks just to wet the whistle kind of situation, or is it like kind of
Yeah, like like it would not be like a total hand to mouth kind of scenario. Like
okay,
it would be a more tolerable living situation than if you were to just find jobs in elevation then stop doing taker stuff.
Gotcha.
I mean, the housing's nicer, certainly. It's 3D printed concrete domes.
Plus Canadians socialized medicine.
Socialized healthcare.
They've kept that. A bunch of old
There's some
med
things they've
kits.
kept. Great.
Oh, so what you're saying is if we played any jobs under the Canadian, we'd get the healing for free when we get back.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Gotcha. You know,
I'm sure there'd be like some like limitation on that. It's like, oh,
Sure,
not
yeah.
quite, but yeah,
Yeah.
we still
Well-
had to use a lot of supplies for this.
If you have to see a specialist, you might have to wait
That's right.
3 to 5
Or
business days.
or pay out of pocket.
Or pay out of
See?
pocket.
Like, yeah,
gotta get a referral. You just
That's
gotta
right.
get a referral.
That's right. Okay. And then our second question is Bobby. We had an old friend in elevation that went missing that we believe killed. But we're just
No,
curious
he's-
if he
he's
did
killed.
get killed. My apologies. We know
Yeah.
he was killed. I'm just curious if you had any leads on our old friend Bobby Hill from Elevation. If you knew anything about that.
I think if you ask her by name, like, do you know Bobby Hill? Do you know what happened to a guy named Bobby Hill from Elevation?
I'll describe him, kind of thing.
Black t-shirt, short cropped blonde hair.
Yeah.
At a purse.
Hung-
Love that purse.
Hung out with a bunch of other people with cropped hair because they were all
Yeah.
gun hands.
The situation that might be familiar, if it is familiar to you, is that there was a bunch of fellas in like military fatigues out on a job. And if you're familiar, one of them was, I believe, shot several times by a sniper type rifle when they approached some area that Nico would probably remember the vague description of, like the direction of it, like around this area.
It was along one of the railroad lines.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a campsite that was there that they started to look at. Frankenberry and Bobby had gone ahead, and Bobby got hit, and Frankenberry had to leave him. So
Yeah.
By name,
Situation ring a bell.
science and Bobby Hill. Yeah, I don't know you. And then by description of the situation, she'll be like, I mean, that's certainly not the way any of the folks that operate under our umbrella would have dealt with the situation. Like, we're not that. There's no reason to take a crew out of here ever would have been out trying to ambush people, other people, right? That's not what we do. Yeah, no, I think she'll be like, no, that's weird, and it sounds awful, and if you knew him, I'm sorry to hear that somebody did that, but no, that's not something anybody from here would have done. I got it bad enough that they're all obsessed with Bigfoot lately, and I don't know what it is. And then we've got Carl out in the other one. He's like, no, you've got it wrong. The Wendigo is an evil spirit, and he does these kinds of things, and like.
I mean, have you heard of anybody else being suddenly murdered with a high power rifle? Any of your teams experienced that? If you got any intel that could lead us, because that's just something that I personally feel led to figure out at some point, and it could be after we potentially relocate here. That's something that's not going to go away, is what I'm saying. It's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she doesn't know Bobby. Not familiar with the situation. It's like we had a duo that used to work together that operated out of here a while back, and they went out to do something, went dark, but we've just never heard back from them. Never know what happened. But we've kept an eye out for they've never had Ubik pings come back online or anything like that. So other than that, maybe being, people would disappear. Who knows? No, I can't say it sounds familiar. Sorry.
Add one more group of extremely deadly and unstable folks into the laws that we got to worry about.
Right.
I guess technically they were probably already on our list of things to worry about, but now we know that they are their own separate entity, perhaps.
Yeah.
Which are their own separate entity?
Oh, just
Whoever killed Bobby.
Yeah.
Just whoever
Oh,
killed
whoever
Bobby.
yeah.
That seems to be some group that maybe we don't even know the name of, which is frankly
Gotcha.
a
Worrisome.
bit. I mean, no more concerning than anything else that happens to us on a regular basis, but it's just
kind of look at the group. So how are we feeling?
I mean, we have to talk to
Our peeps.
deacons.
Yep.
But
there's some folks I'm not going to just make this decision out of hand for. But after having talked it over with everybody, we kind of think it's maybe a little better than the napalm concrete room that potentially awaits us. And when I put it like that, it seems kind of stupid that we had to talk about it, but we did kind of have to talk about it.
We had to figure that one out. Yeah. So it's a strong lean in this direction is what I think we're saying in terms of where we want to end up.
Good. You've whether you knew it or not at the time, you've done a lot of things that have helped us out. So we'd be glad to have you for real.
Do I have to learn like a new national anthem? Is that
I'll
Gotta
teach
get the hang of it.
It's pretty
get
easy.
the hang of it?
yeah,
pretty
it
valid.
has the words. Never mind. There are some people in elevation that could be useful here, or Martha's eyes. Some people that could use the safety of a place like this. and I'm not going to go out and talk to them about it, but what is your long-term plan for people, refugees?
There will be a time and a place where we have more space to accommodate. And I'm sure some of that's going to be people from the lost who are willing to be part of our community. And some of that is going to be people coming from either other enclaves like ours or who have been, she kind of like, half gestures at Longabaugh, like,
Out.
maybe not discussing their origins, but want to be back with their country people.
Be like hand you a short list of people then from elevation, just kind of like a
Yeah, we can-
pre-check sort of,
we can get something going for if you have people in mind who you think would be specifically helpful to our community.
Y'all look like you need a bar, I'm gonna be honest. A little restaurant kind of situation, bar and grill.
Well, they've been making do with like, what's in the back of that shipping container over there, but like it's not real great. And like,
We can get you a list.
we got
of-
some people who knew how to do a little bit of home brewing, but they weren't real good at home brewing. Like, like, oh no, the good home brewers are still out in elevation. So it's like,
That's right. They got all that grain to work
all
with.
that grain,
Grain,
yeah.
yeah.
At the grain.
Yeah, we'll get you a list of folks that are would be an asset and would carry their own weight. Would be good to have.
I've needed some folks with some ornery horses.
Let's not do
Look,
them any
let's
favors.
not-
I mean,
We're
after
not
a
on good
certain
terms
point,
with him. Not good
I
on
just
terms.
feel I don't feel like that's like I feel like that's kind of on us.
It is a little on
Like,
us, which is we're competitive. All right, we like to win the job.
Hey, we like our
Not even
jobs.
not even like
so-
competitive in that sense. We just have a competitive skill set in the current job market.
It's right.
Um,
Competitive skill. That's right. That's right. We're
Like,
a unique set of skills. Puts us above horsemen.
but yeah, no, I mean, I kind of like the offer. To summarize, it seems pretty nice out here, and I just don't know that civilian life is necessarily the best move for me at this point in time. And kind of itch his shoulder and be like, I kind of feel like I got a little work left to do in me, just a bit. But yeah,
All right.
gotta
Well,
talk to
that's
my
good to
people.
hear. Understand. Obviously, if I am putting my trust in you that they are trustworthy. So,
We'll do right by that.
good. I expected you would. So, let's go talk to your friends for a minute here. And she will take you over to where Trophy is out and Bex is on like the other side of the chain link fence. So she can be part of the conversation. She will explain the situation that they are trying to build this community. They're hoping to expand. They want everything to be better for the people who are part of it. And that based on, what they've seen of the members of Trophy and Chesapeake's face while he's been here, they've been here, and from speaking with you guys, that they're interested in extending the same kind of olive branch to them about, hey, how do you feel about Young? And I think LoJack will probably be like, we've made a good go of it, Bug, and we've done really well. Like we've put effort in. I think I'm better off here. So regardless of what Trophy decides, LoJack wants to stay. I think Riley says that he will stay with Bug wherever Bug goes, but that he thinks there's probably more stability here for them and more that they could do that's maybe not being takers. And I think Bug will be kind of like swayed and agree with him in that. And then I think Bex will be kind of torn because Bex will be like, people like me get treated badly in a lot of places, and I've been treated better here than I was in the place before. And she's like, but like she kind of like points at Blue's like, but what you did in Boston? And we're like, whoa, that wasn't us. I swear, like hand to God, that was not us. And I'm not like Queen Canada or anything like that, but like I talk to other people, and nobody I know in any way was part of like arranging that, knew that was going to happen, organized it. We don't know where that came from.
I think Martha in the background is just like, like totally wasn't like planned by the government or anything.
DHQS
Sound like
would
my
never
uncle.
bomb their own people to make
Now-
a political point.
As much as you sound like my Uncle Cletus, that is a lot less far-fetched than I think it should be.
Blue
That's
is blue. Blue
good
will
point.
certainly will like I don't like to entertain that kind of thinking most of the time, but I also agree with you, particular when there are people who she kind of like half gives side eye to Mirtha for a second and like looks back at Bex, especially when there are people who could twist a situation like that to their own personal advantage.
Yep. But it's a fair point, right? None of us know.
She's like, I'm like, we intentionally maintain limited connections between groups of Canadians all over because obviously you want to be able to have disconnectable distance and like plausible deniability and escape routes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But nobody who I have spoken to directly knows, and none of them have ever said any that they've spoken to knew either. So,
Mhm.
in
Does that
fact,
change things back?
Blue on Ubik got into an argument with Harold Carmichael in response to that was posted by Dexy about it. So that's
Nice. Bex, does that help some?
yeah, I think that does. Like him. What about Mary? If she comes here, will she be welcome? Will she be able to move? And Blue will say, like, we can make sure that happens. She's willing to do it.
I've
we
seen
can
her
do
throw
it.
that. I've seen her throw that light machine gun around. That thing could probably cut a DHQS chopper in half if she had the mind to do it. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
She'd make a good
saying.
fenceman instead of having to go out and be a taker. Yeah.
Similarly traumatic, but yeah, I guess less dangerous.
And then there's the gentleman, Martha nod a chess piece face.
Yes.
Um,
Like I'll this is definitely a place where there would be a better life for Anna than what she's got in Elevation right now. And for that reason, he would be in as well. But he's like, but I'm gonna have to go back to get Anna and bring her back.
what if Trophy could bring Anna here? I'm not saying it's a good idea. I was just throwing it out there. I saw that face, Deacon.
Deacon's trying like so hard to be like, I'm sure they're capable of that, but on the inside, he's like, man, they've got a real bad track record with stuff like that. I just don't know, man.
What if
Or Trophy doesn't have to go back. So
it looks like it seems like everybody within Trophy and Chess Piece Face all want to stay.
Mhm.
What if the three of us do it?
Well, Mary has to come here too. So Mary could
That sounds
potentially
like an
bring Anna
extra-
here.
That sounds like an extra gun to me on the trip. So that's not.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Here's what I'm saying. Right now, Trophy, all of you are unknown. As far as elevation is concerned, you might be dead. Honestly, right? Unless you've been able to check in, which I don't think you have. We are expected to get back. We could get back. Talk to Mary, take guardianship of what's the daughter's name again?
Anna.
Anna.
Take guardianship of Anna, right? And then say, hey, we want to move them, or we just leave. We don't have to answer anybody at an elevation or coming and going. We just leave because we're expected to come back. But maybe this is like a fresh start for everybody here. As a thought, because elevation knows we're alive, but they don't know that you're alive. And if any one of you comes back, you'll have to answer for what happened.
I think they're amenable to that. Like Blue's like that could work.
Could the people in Trophy like write a letter to Mary? Like Bex?
Yeah, like
you
I
guys
think
write something
Bex,
that we can
Bex
give to
is like,
Mary.
That kind of stuff is a good idea.
let me,
Very good idea.
yes, let me give you something to give her to prove that this is not like, hey, we just came back to try to lure you into the wilderness to mow you down and take your machine gun.
Very much like not Mary to like punch Deacon or Longabaugh in the face.
Yeah. Like, hey, come out of the woods with us. Be great. Yep. And
I think
we'll
I
probably
can
need
get-
something from Chess Piece Face too. Something from you that would say that, in the event of whatever, one of us was deemed as your guardian, right? Or as your
I guess Deacon is actually
godparent, right?
Yeah.
might make
got
more
like
sense
a-
there. Yeah.
You got like a checkout form.
No.
kind of
Like
situation.
like a hey, we haven't heard from them in a while, so here's my letter that I got from Chess Piece, Face back
Yeah.
in the day, saying that I
I
was to
think
adopt their kid.
Blue will probably chime in that like we can make sure that there's a digital record of that like looks like it was from before.
Oh.
Okay.
So it's not going to be like, oh, I just happened to show up with this thing. It's like, oh no, there's this record. See, it's here. It's dated 6 months ago. It's real. Like,
You
they
say
can,
that
like,
with
change
so
the
much
color.
sarcasm in your voice, but I will tell you a story when this stream is done.
Can't wait. Oh my god.
I mean, my my first landlord, when I moved to New York, had the same technology. She just wrote a date that was 2 months earlier on that paperwork that I was moving out. It was pretty nice. It was like, hey, you have to give us 2 months notice you're leaving. I'm like, well, I'm definitely leaving. She's like, just mark it April. It's fine. And I was like, nice.
Sweet.
You're awful. You're awful and you're very rude. But in this one instance, you're okay. It was wild.
That's that like it's like the Northeast will treat you kindly, but will sound mean when they do it.
Mm.
It's like,
Mhm.
I'll help you out, but I'm gonna call you dumb while I do it.
Nowhere. I was like, there have been 3 property managers since I've lived here. How was I supposed to know we needed to do that sort of thing? It's not
Right.
even in the lease.
Oh my god.
So the plan is we'll get something to give to Mary, something that will show that Deacon's taking care of Anna.
Yeah.
And then we will bring them here or some sort of handoff.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's up to us 3 to still figure out how we're going to move our
Help Jack.
dependents over here.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. And
Okay.
to wrap up the job line with Jet Jones.
Right.
The thing we want, the thing that out of character we wanted to do with this game, anyways. We don't want to just walk away from it.
Is Operation Curry Goat canceled? Did we just cancel Operation?
Is
Curry
this
Goat?
Operation Curry Goat? Is
I think
this
it's
the
just
last
became
job
Operation Curry
operation?
Goat.
yeah?
Your shared Mr. Jaws, the just one last score, was supposed to be Operation Curry Goat. Yes. Which
But
we
now it's-
supposed to
Mr.
be
Jaws
gathering
is
details
actually-
on all along the way, but that's
Mr. Jaws is really blue.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the job really is screw over Jed one last time.
I mean, Deacon and I don't know shit about
I
that.
know, I
So
know.
Don't need to.
Our-
No,
don't
it's
need
our
to,
last
honestly.
job is to get the grain to St. Louis. Your job is whatever the fuck you think it is.
Job is very convincingly trip and fall while standing on top of a cart transporting grain or whatever. Just drop some little boxes in a hole. It's
yes.
fine.
This silo is full. Move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just help with this last bit of logistics.
So yeah, I guess that means we're walking, or well, we're going back to elevation, the three of us, and figuring it out from there, eh?
I like the A. That's a
About
nice-
what it
Sorry,
sounds like,
that's
yeah.
just me. That's not Martha. That's just me. I'm sorry.
already blending in.
Already.
Starting the assimilation process now.
Let's
Got
say
it.
you're
Thanks.
sorry. Let's say
Martha grew up close to Canada. So
It's true. She's probably been to some of the sites up there.
absolutely. She's a
Yeah,
world
Ice Castle.
Yeah. The
performed all over the world. So
the war memorials from when America invaded Canada as part of a treaty with other countries. Back when we're like, oh yeah, if we do this thing for France or whoever, we'll get Canadian land. Let's do it. And then we lost. We lost every time we went to war against Canada. Y'all don't
that's
know.
only fair. That's only fair.
Isn't that great?
They didn't. They
It's
didn't
like
cover
starting
that
a
in my
land war
history
with
book.
Russia.
Yeah.
It's like starting the land war with Russia in the winter. It
cold,
just
too cold.
doesn't- Too cold.
You
Just don't invade any
got
place
boys
that's
from
cold.
Georgia going up to Canada going, what? No, who wants this?
It gets lower than 30 degrees. I didn't know the thermometer went that low.
Oh my God. All right. This is good. We have a plan. We have a plan. Oh, what could go wrong?
what could go wrong?
Wait. We have.
Are we ending?
even have our special emoji in chat there for. I have a plan.
Oh my God.
Um,
Yes, I have a plan.
Yes. Yeah. No.
No.
We've skewed a little longer than intended. So yeah, I think this is probably a good place to wrap up. And then next time we'll pick up with like. Bag takes your blindfold off and drops you off somewhere. So
And then we walk. 'Cause we-
then you get to do more walking back to elevation. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but we don't have to do legs anymore.
Ooh,
So
wait,
like
wait,
we
wait,
just end
wait.
up back in
Yeah.
elevation.
No,
Wait,
there's no more legs
Mike,
to get back.
Mike, can I petition for a refresh? If we have more legs to go in our life, can I get a refresh?
There are people here who you can trade with to get stuff.
Okay.
Your catch is going to be
Shit.
no electronics for y'all. So what bounty cards do you have on?
Oh, come on.
Oh,
We have like
Longabaugh
literally a ton.
sits on bounty.
you
like-
have a bunch. Yeah, you are
We have
probably well
literally-
set. But potentially that could be your limiting factor.
Longabaugh hoards
think-
bounty cards when we're on legs.
I think the exact Canadian measurement would be a metric butt ton.
look, I'm gonna slap my backpacks like, look, this backpack and that backpack and that backpack. We got a lot of truck parts.
Oh, it's true.
Y'all might need some truck parts.
Yeah.
And then
is. So
also
there
we do
is-
actually have a lot of physical.
So yeah,
I mean, we could
between,
get rid of the
between
truck
physical
parts.
bounty and barter, yes, there's ways for you can refresh stuff here.
Like
Truck
just
part?
refresh food or what? Like,
Anything that you're willing to pay the refresh on.
oh, I'm not willing to pay refresh right now. So
What about getting a refresh on my character sheet?
Oh, from your adaptability?
Yeah,
That's when the job's done.
mother.
Just get some rations. Jesus.
No, I'm full of rations now.
Oh.
I spent my refresh on rations, so I've got plenty. I probably could go with like some rifle bullets, and I'll buy some rations. Sure.
I am not buying nothing.
Yeah, I'm actually good. I'm like
Yeah, I'm
looking at
good.
it. I'm like, I don't have any refreshes, but I got like 9 rations.
Mhm.
Is a
Ration
rifle
punch?
is rifle? What's the rifle upkeep? Is it really low?
2. Is that how much it costs to refresh the thing? The upkeep cost?
Right? Isn't that the
Yeah,
refresh?
that's the cost to refresh it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
double
2.
if you were to buy one after character creation.
Got it. Okay.
No
Yeah.
offense, but are we looking up prices really right
No.
now?
No, I just asked a question if somebody knew. Yeah, so I think folks, let's raid Yvonne B. She is playing Cult of the Lamb, which is a
Nice.
adorable little game where,
That game's fucked up.
yeah. And
It's really fun.
you know what's really fucked up is they have a Twitch, and she has enabled it, a Twitch like add-on, so all of us could become cultists in her game.
Yeah.
And
That is fun.
Nice.
and I think last night or the night before, I got to be one, so it's been fun.
It's really cool.
So folks, we're gonna head over to Yvonne B, and let's throw some emotes in the chat. This has been good. This is like
Yeah, this is really fun.
Yeah.
this has been really good. Everybody home, thanks a ton for watching. As always, have fun and play well.
May all your rolls be crits.